Hey lovely people, this is Olga with AskYourSoul.org, and today I felt inspired to do a reading that has to do with life purpose because I literally feel like that's one of the most important things that we need to figure out in our lives. And for some people it comes easily, and for others like me, it's actually a really challenging and long process of figuring out why the hell am I here. So hopefully this will make things a little bit more clear for you, and I'm really hoping it's going to resonate with everybody. But this is basically what your guides and angels would like for you to know in regards to your life purpose. So if we are going to get some specifics in terms of a career, that would be awesome, but no guarantees, unfortunately. But we'll see, shall we? So we have three piles as per usual: pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. And whichever one resonates with you the most right now, whichever one makes you feel curious and you're drawn to, that's the one you should go with. So I'm going to, of course, include all the timestamps below, as well as which decks I'll be using for this reading. And why don't we go ahead and see what our pile number 1 wants to tell us today. Okie dokes. Let's see here. I'm going to read this one last, as usual. This is just a message from your angels. Let's see. Oh, talk to your angels. Destiny. Patience and planning. Patience. Wow. Okay, so to me, this feels like, it just kind of reminds me of myself again. Because I've been so uneasy about figuring out my life purpose, and I spent so much time and energy trying to research, trying to find out and read and try different things out to find out what the heck is it that would be fulfilling to me, but also would be helpful to people and something that I could actually do for this world, And so honestly, I realized I got to a point that if it's meant to happen, it's going to happen. If I'm meant to find out what my purpose is, I am going to find out. And I really believed that I would. And I feel like right now, this is definitely a huge part of it, me doing oracle card readings. But it all came from a prayer, not just one, a million. But it all came from me accepting the fact that, I really don't know what's best for me and what's best for other people. What can I offer to them? But I was praying and praying and praying and praying and praying. And eventually this just came into my world just like that. One morning, I just really got interested in, and when I say morning, I mean afternoon, just FYI. I got really interested in tarot and oracle cards. And I just started Googling it and finding interesting videos about it, and I just really got into it. But of course I thought to myself, okay, but this happens every couple of months or 3 months, where I get really into stuff and then I get annoyed or disappointed or just bored with it. But for the first time in ever, this actually just kept growing on me. This kept being interesting. So anyway, my point is that don't disregard what's in your destiny. Don't think that everything's about the law of attraction and that everything depends on you and your, you have to figure everything out. Yes, there are things that you can do to get yourself closer to the answer. Even this is one of them, okay? But at the same time, there's always this divine intervention that's happening at all times, and don't think you're not being heard. And definitely make sure you ask for it repeatedly. And it especially helps when you ask in a way that is not just about you, it's about the people that you are going to help through your life purpose. So making sure that you think about the service aspect of it, that's super helpful. And believing that you do have this, there's something. And I'm sure that if you're watching this right now, you are one of those people who believes that there is a higher purpose to your life than just working at a job that, 9 to 5, whatever it is. And there's just something that's really interesting. There's something important that you could be doing for this world and for yourself. And it's okay that you haven't figured it out yet, Maybe this whole process of trying to figure it out, it's all part of the big picture. Because maybe eventually when you do figure it out, Or it's not even about figuring it out. Maybe it's going to be bestowed upon you, like you never know. But when that happens, at least you will know like what it's like to go through this process, and maybe you're going to be able to relate to people in that way who are going to come to you for help. And it's really good to know what it's like to struggle with that. It's really good to experience, just to have an idea of what they might be experiencing. So I know it's probably not what you want to hear, but just see how prominent here patience is in these cards. Like, literally, it's all about patience and you believing that you do have a purpose and asking your angels for help with that, with finding what it is. And another thing is, if you get interested in something, like I did, and then after a couple of months, you're just kind of getting over it. You're like, okay, well, this was fun, but whatever. See if you can go a little bit longer with that. See if you can use your patience to learn more about this topic, because I'm sure there's like an infinite amount of information and knowledge about every freaking topic out there. And sometimes I feel like for multi-potentialites, which is, I consider myself one, and maybe you are as well, it's really hard to like stay true to one and only thing through their whole lives. And I feel like that's the case with most people right now. But you also have to be very careful about how soon you give up on something, okay? Because it's always a choice. You always can say, okay, well, this is boring to me. Like, I've learned everything I wanted and I'm done with that. But just for a second, like for shits and giggles, just see what happens if you stay with it for longer. What happens if you learn more about it? What happens if you start somehow using it in your professional life? Whatever the skill is and whatever you've learned. I guess I just, like through this whole experience with the Oracle cards, I just realized that even though I could easily give up on it and just be like, okay, well, I learned all I wanted to know, right? I really don't have to. I mean, there's still a million things I don't know and would love to use in order to help people in the future. So I think that it's really important to be very clear in terms of like how open you are to becoming more loyal to whatever it is that you're studying, and giving it time, giving it time, and like not giving up just because you're not learning fast enough in your opinion, or because you can't use it yet in order, like as a job, just not giving up yet. Not giving up and really having enough patience with yourself and with whatever your interest is to keep going. Just keep going for as long as you possibly can before you're literally like, okay, I'm done. Like, I can't. This is really, not only is this not interesting anymore, it's actually like making me angry or like annoyed, Yeah, so again, I feel like the biggest message for you here is that it might take a while for you to fully get into the space of like, this is my life purpose, this is what I want to do. And I should have clarified before, I totally forgot about that. That life purpose doesn't always mean a job. I'm sure God did not put us all on this earth just to have a job, okay? It's a lot more than that. It's a lot more inclusive of a term. But occupations do have a lot to do with it, usually. Because if you are kind of living and breathing your life purpose and it's a part of your everyday life, it's your business and it's your life, that, in my understanding, is like the perfect life purpose, So I'm talking about this in terms of a job, but honestly, it doesn't have to be. It really doesn't have to be. And so just definitely don't forget that you are being heard and all of your prayers are being answered. But you have to pay a lot of attention to the signs. And okay, let's see the last card from your angel. Counselor. Well, look at that. I didn't expect it to come from that deck, because this was from my Archangel Oracle cards and not from the Life Purpose deck, which is interesting. But look at that. It says Counselor, Archangel Azrael. You are a natural counselor and many people benefit from your guidance and reassurance. So just thinking about that, it does take a long time to become a counselor or a therapist, and you do have to have a lot of patience. But I feel like if this resonates with you, then this is basically, it's just reaffirming that, yes, this is a big part of your life purpose. Maybe not even in a traditional setting, but in some way. And you do have to have a lot of patience when it comes to figuring out like how you can incorporate this into your life and use it to help people. And again, see, there's your angel who is kind of just reminding you that he's always with you, he's helping you out. But, it's always 50-50. You do have to put in a lot of work. You have to really believe in yourself and in the fact that this is like a legitimate sign from the universe. And you do have to have a lot of patience, which I know. Not fun, but necessary. So I hope this was helpful to you. And if you feel like you would like a more personalized reading, please reach out to me via askyoursoul.org. Hope you have an amazing day or night, and wishing you only the best. And thank you so much for watching. Bye. Okay, we're now moving on to pile number 2. School. Triumph. Wow, look at that. Of course, and then we'll open this one last as usual. So I love that this card makes it so blatantly obvious, and it says, the answer that you're seeking involves going to school. So I don't know if you've been wondering about going back to school, or, if this hasn't been on your radar, but this is something definitely to consider, because whatever it is that your life purpose involves, looks like you might still need some additional schooling in order for that to happen. But at the same time, unfortunately, it's not going to be like a walk in the park, which is usually the case with life purpose. But despite like all the challenges and obstacles you might encounter on your path, look at these ones. Like, it says victory and success and triumph. This is you persevering. This is you making things happen in the best possible way with the best possible outcome. It's kind of like an affirmation of not giving up. And even if school right now seems so out of reach, maybe because it's expensive, maybe because there's literally no time in your life for school, there's always something you can do. Maybe it's not even going to be a conventional going to college type of a situation. Maybe it's a certificate that you can get online. Maybe it's like a mentor that you find who is going to help you get closer to whatever your life purpose is. Or maybe even for you to truly understand what your life purpose is. In terms of a job, like in terms of an occupation, I'm not talking about life purpose in a broader sense right now. But maybe you just really need to get connected with other people who are going to help you figure it out through their example and through their life path, And I'm actually really curious to see this card. What does it say? Oh, clairvoyance. Archangel Raziel, I'm helping you, your spiritual side, to awaken fully so you can clearly see heavenly love. So if you feel like spirituality is one of the things that are a big part of your life purpose, then working on your clairvoyant abilities or your psychic abilities, that could be super helpful as well. And maybe that is exactly what you should be doing right now. Maybe that's exactly what would bring you closer to truly understanding your life purpose and living it. But regardless of what it is, it still looks like going to school is a really important part of it. And also being prepared to like really work for it and to go through things that are not as easy and pleasant as we'd like. But I feel like this card is always a reminder of like how strong you are deep inside, how strong your soul is and your higher self, like how mighty you are. When you put your mind to something, you can freaking get it done. And that's that. Like, no matter how hard it is, you can do it. And you have a lot to look forward to. It looks like you have a very interesting path ahead. And as I'm talking about this, if your heart is giving you like an idea or like a picture of something that looks interesting and important to you, then I think that's directly related to your life purpose, at least for this lifetime, right? And also, this is helpful just because if you are interested in all things psychic, then Archangel Raziel is telling you that he's watching over you and is asking you to connect with him through prayer. And if you have any questions about how can I become more psychic if I don't feel like I am at all, this is something that this archangel could help you with if you actually ask him. And remember, those signs are, like most of the time they're so not obvious, not as obvious as we'd like. But, you just see like a commercial of some kind of school that you've been thinking about, or somebody tells you that, hey, like, I'm thinking about going back to school and blah, blah, blah. So it's just really like the universe is always talking to you. Just paying more attention to it is really, really important, because that's what's going to lead you through, like, by these little breadcrumbs towards exactly where your spirit wants to be. So I hope this was helpful to you, and I really hope it resonated. Feel free to reach out to me via askyoursoul.org if you'd like a more personalized reading. And I hope you have an amazing day or night, and thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you soon. Bye! Okay, now we're gonna do pile number 3. Let's see what we got here. Travel. Rejoice and celebration. Prosperity begins. Balance. Oh, and then this one I'm gonna open last, actually. I almost forgot. Okay, I'm loving this message. It's very positive, I feel like. So, it looks like your life purpose involves traveling, which sounds super fun. But I would say also pay attention to any time, like when you're at a party or a celebration of some kind, or just whatever it is, like where other people are present, a get together or something. And do your best to connect with people and pay attention to what everybody talks about, you know, especially if you have like an upcoming celebration. I think that's the one where you can find out very interesting information that relates directly to your life purpose. And again, like as a life purpose for this specific reading, I forgot to mention this in the beginning of the video, I mean it as it relates to an occupation, because I don't believe that our only life purpose is a job, of course, but like for the specific reason, it is something in regards to your job or occupation. So it's really important to pay attention to the signs from the universe and to people that you connect with and what they tell you or suggest, or like even if an idea somebody proposes to you seems really weird, or you're like, how is that even possible? Don't say no just yet. Just see what happens, you know, pay attention and see how you really feel about it. Because I feel like for you, if this is truly what your life purpose entails, if it truly resonates with your heart, it's going to be so much easier to make money. It's going to be so much easier to let this business or whatever this is grow. You just have to plant the seed for it to turn into something really amazing and beautiful. And it's also important to know that you already have all the tools that you could possibly need to make this happen. You already have the tools, even if you don't feel like you do. But it's more about you believing in yourself and connecting with other people who could be really helpful in materializing this idea. And maybe this somehow resonates with you on a more like personal level, but I just feel like something to do with agriculture or something like that. But I just feel like whatever it is, it's definitely something that's going to make you feel really expansive, and like your life is so interesting, and every day there's something new to look forward to. Like there has to be a lot of variety for you to be satisfied with it. And I guess also not going like too crazy about whatever it is that you're thinking about doing, like having some balance, you know, like maybe not going out and spending all of your money on this idea and like just being completely broke as a result. There still needs to be some type of a balance. There still needs to be some careful planning and some good understanding of what it is that you want to achieve. And yeah, let's also see this last card. Look at that, creative writing. Well, that's cool. It totally vibes with traveling. Archangel Gabriel, make time to write down your thoughts in a journal or pen, an article or book. Wow, so if this resonates with you, maybe you want to do both. Maybe you want to be like an author or a blogger, a travel blogger. Maybe you want to write and you want to travel. But it seems like a really cool life purpose, if you ask me. So if creative writing is not at all something that like relates and resonates with you, I would encourage you just to use this as a reminder to do more writing in general, like just to journal maybe. And especially if you're not clear about your life purpose, journaling can really bring some things to light and make you reflect on how some things are not at all resonating with you and other things are actually not too bad. So I don't know, this is definitely something I really need to do more of myself. But it's just a good reminder. And especially if you are getting other signs about journaling or writing, definitely take this to heart and see if you can find some time to just write stuff down that you feel like writing, you know? Or maybe it is creative writing. Maybe you're just gonna write some really awesome, interesting book that people are gonna love and read and get something like really useful or entertaining out of it. So, overall, this looks really positive. I especially like this card because it says prosperity begins. And this is really a great affirmation, especially when you're trying to live your purpose, like in terms of a job or an occupation, and you have no idea like if this is gonna work out, or you're starting a new business, and it's just really hard to keep faith when you have no guarantees. So I hope this is gonna be a really positive affirmation for you as well, and I just hope you are reminded that you have all the tools that you need to make this thing work. Maybe you just need more connections to make it work, and maybe that's why traveling is also a big part of it. But anyways, I hope this was helpful to you guys and girls, and I hope it resonated. And if you'd like a more personalized reading, please reach out to me via askyoursoul.org. Otherwise, have an amazing day or night, and may you live a very fulfilling, beautiful life, feeling like your life purpose is a huge part of it. And yeah, I really hope to do more readings for you guys soon, and I'm wishing you all the best as per usual. Thanks for watching. Bye.